Aha, welcome back. So, as I said in the live stream today, there were a couple of news pieces that I couldn't share with you because of YouTube's sensitivities, let's put it that way. So, let's jump right into them and give you an idea of what we're talking about. So, this lovely looking fella, Deputy of the Rada Goncharenko, threatened Lukashenko, as head of Belarus, with hanging in response to the congratulations of the Ukrainians. Deputy of the Rada of Ukraine, Alexei Goncharenko, threatened the president of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, with reprisals after the head of the republic congratulated the Ukrainians on the country's Independence Day. Quote, Lukashenko will hang on a pole on the next Ukrainian Independence Day, the Rada deputy said. Goncharenko added that he plans to support political opponents of the incumbent Belarusian leader. Well, that's nice, isn't it? I'm convinced that today's contradictions will not be able to destroy the centuries-old foundation of sincere good neighbourly relation between the peoples of the two countries, Lukashenko said in a statement. I don't see why that would trigger anyone. Lukashenko also wished the Ukrainian people a peaceful sky, tolerance, courage, strength and success in restoring a decent life. Sounds a bit like a rather petty response, doesn't it? But then, are we surprised? Is this true, even? If this is true, are we surprised? Well, let me present to you Exhibit A.
Шановні українці, ці люди прийшли на нашу землю, щоб ми з вами ніколи не святкували Дня Незалежності. І розраховували на те, що переможуть нас за 3 дні. Але зараз вони тут стоять перед вами на колінах. А ми з вами святкуємо цей день. Тому що ми є сильна нація, яка готова вмерти за свою незалежність. Шановні українці, я вітаю вас з цим днем. Ми здобули його разом і будемо здобувати ще не один раз. Ми вистояли і будемо захищати свою свободу далі. Весь час, скільки б нам не потрібно було для цього докласти сил. Будь-який ворог, який прийде на нашу землю і посягне на нашу незалежність, буде так само стояти на колінах. Слава Україні, слава нашим героям і смерть нашим ворогам. Тепер ви військовополонені української армії. Тепер з вами будуть поводитися як з військовополоненими. Зрозуміло?
You'll be treated like prisoners of war, but not within the Geneva Conventions. Because remember the fuss that was made about Aden Aslin? I've not heard any mention about this in the Western media. An ISIS-style video with prisoners of war on their knees in the fields there. And then with, of course, the revered Nazi salute. Slava Ukraina, glory to heroes and all that crap. Yeah. These are lovely people. I'm sure they're very fun at parties. Let's get into some more stories. FSB prevented terrorist attacks at Baltic Fleet facilities and Khabrovo Airport in Kaliningrad. FSB detained in Kaliningrad a Russian citizen born in 1967 who was preparing terrorist attacks at military facilities of the Baltic Fleet and at Khabrovo Airport. As the correspondent of RG was told at the Center for Public Relations of the FSB of Russia, the detained resident of Kaliningrad turned out to be a supporter of the Ukraine National Battalion Azov. Well, I also reported on YouTube that I was seeing lots of these reports in the lead up to these attacks on airfields, around Crimea and Sevastopol. There were many of these reports, particularly around Rostov, even up at St. Petersburg as well, where Ukrainians had managed to penetrate, particularly, always, I'm not going to say always, usually associated with Azov. And I'm still not entirely certain whether that's for the PR effect. Everyone knows what Azov is and knows what they're like, so it's got some extra bonus points attached to it, I think. Or genuinely, this is where Azov has then sort of dissipated in to try and be terrorists, basically. We've seen ISIS videos there. The Russian embassy said that the United States is afraid of publicity of the facts about the actions of Azov. The United States is clearly wary of publicizing facts that testify to the inhumane acts of members of the Azov terrorist group banned in the Russian Federation. The Russian embassy on August 24th said after State Department spokesman Ned Price commented on the Mariupol tribunal, the very same tribunal that, if you recall, I reported that Zelensky said was a red line. Why Zelensky? Well, obviously his puppet masters may well be afraid of what those Azov prisoners may reveal in the course of their tribunal. It may also be why a HIMARS was used to strike Yelenovka to kill prisoners of the Azov battalion to prevent them going to tribunal. What is it that these men know? What these men may say? Remember, dead men tell no stories. Quote, the International Tribunal in Mariupol is able to shed light on the true essence of the Kiev regime, from which the United States diligently creates a bright and heroic image. American citizens will finally learn that in reality their government is helping those who purposefully kill civilians and mock the Russian population of Donbass and Ukraine, the diplomats wrote in the telegram of the diplomatic mission in Washington. The embassy recalled that Russia fully complies with the Geneva Conventions and guarantees proper conditions for Ukrainian prisoners of war, not like we've literally just seen that Independence Day was yesterday. That's that video purportedly from yesterday. That's how recent the breaches are taking place in Ukraine. It is known that Ukrainian militants brutally treat captured Russian servicemen. Yeah, those guys didn't look, well, one of them looked particularly roughed up. The upcoming trial is designed to establish justice for war criminals, among whom are the Nazis from the Azov regiment. Gazeta.ru quotes the MC statement. It goes into Pushilin's words, where he's talked about these tribunals, that they are ready to go. The first one, I believe, is all good. So let's get into some memes, lighten the mood a bit. Delicious. Finally, some good fucking military tribunals. A lot of people are waiting for this. And also, how far does this range? Does it include Biden and the crime families of the US? They've all got their fingers in these pies. I have to give credit to Vanessa Beeley. If you aren't following her on Substack, I will put a link. If the video platform I'm using permits me to have a description of some sort or share links, I will do so for you. Maybe even on YouTube. But you can understand why I couldn't show this on YouTube. Yeah, as much as I want to support Vanessa Beeley's work, I don't. Apologies, Vanessa. I'm sure this is pertinent and in context with the article. It absolutely is. You read through it. But of course, I wasn't going to be able to show this to our sensitive Western senses, was I? It's actually worth going through far more diligently than I am right now. I have read it through, but there's a key point I wanted to make here, which is where it's Vanessa who highlighted this Molfar Global that I reported on in YouTube. It was her that brought my attention to this. This is an organization springing up in the UK, like Molfar Global, whose Book of Orcs project employs 200 alleged volunteers to identify Russian orc war criminals and compile a legal kill list. Western fucking values. Meanwhile, Maria Zakharova posted this video, which is a monument that's by Czech authors. It's outside the Russian embassy, and it's entitled How the West Buried Ukraine. Isn't that amazing? Absolutely brilliant. Quite true, isn't it? There you go, with your Ukraini fingernails. And lastly, we have this rather... It's not funny. I think the fact that it's Lego makes it somewhat amusing. But, let me turn the sound off because it's quite loud. I'm thinking of the Azov now and the way the EU is headed. You catch the drift behind this. And this seems to be how the West is acting, completely condoning this kind of behavior, almost normalizing, even, dare I say it, rehabilitating these people and what they did. And I'm sorry, but you know my position on this. I just cannot side with Nazis. And I sincerely hope that you two feel the same way. So that about wraps up just this little addendum to my day's reports. Thank you for tolerating my experimentation. We're looking forward to trying to find our way around the censors, so appreciate all your support. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.